to be on the Invincible.
That was lit. This man right here is a bad man.
We can do some damage on some churros down there.
Yeah!
Welcome back to Invincible. My name is Vince Wolfram, and today we have a very, very special guest. Auburn fans, you know him, you love him, but he is on a new team now. Welcome to the show, Chaney Johnson, the newest member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chaney, what's going on, my friend?
Man, what's good, man? How we doing?
Doing well. It's probably nice to hear that intro, right? Cleveland Cavaliers, Chaney Johnson. It's a little different, isn't it?
Real good. Yeah, it feel real good to hear that, man.
Chaney, let's take it to draft night. I want you to paint the picture for me, right? That Thursday night, where are you? Who's with you on this special night where, maybe your dreams could be changed?
All right, so my Cavalier workout went real well. Went so well that they ended up calling me back for a second workout. And I heard around that they don't really ever do that. So obviously my first one went good enough to where they're like, let's get a second look at them. So I always said I was gonna be in the gym when I got drafted. So I was in the lab, working out with my trainer, working out with one of the guys I met down here as well in Huntsville, Zoe Ward, and also Crystal Harris. She's my strength coach and agility coach. So we was in the gym, on Thursday, waiting on my name to be called. They told me I had a chance to go 58th. And, we was just in there hooping, just hoping that I heard my name called. But, they ended up drafting 6'7" guard out of France. So, I was a little bummed out, but coming into it, I was telling everybody, being drafted was the icing on the cake, more so than anything. I was just happy to get workouts and being able to, do so good at some of the workouts where they was interested in me, coming to the summer league and playing for their team. So that was really my main goal. So, when I heard that it's a chance I may hear my name called, I did get a little ecstatic, but, since I didn't hear it called, it's like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm just grateful to be able to be a part of a team and play on that summer league roster.
The news broke that Friday morning. What did the call look like when the Cavaliers said to you, hey, we want you to come join our group for the summer league in it? And after you felt great, like you said, coming back for that second workout, that is rare, right? They saw something in you that was a little different. What was that moment like when you got the call from the Cavs?
It was more so like thank God, I knew after the first workout, they already said I had a spot on their summer league team. So I already knew, that I was gonna be able to play for them. But it came down to either playing for them or the Wizards, and they showed a lot of interest in me. I love to play in Cleveland, so it was just what, to give me. Let me go ahead and slide to Ohio. But I was just, I was real happy. Praising God, after the call. So
when you said you wanted to get drafted while you were in the gym, that takes me right back to the story you told me about when you were called for the Auburn position, right? You're working out, I think it's Coach Pruitt calls you, right?
Yeah,
When you were working out with your trainer.
Yeah.
That's full circle, dude.
Really.
Is that not crazy?
No, it's real crazy, man. Cause I ain't gonna say I never thought I was gonna make it to the league. It was more so I knew that I was gonna make it to the league because I put in so much work, and I knew eventually I was gonna get there. But since it's here, it's it's kind of surreal.
Definitely a full circle thing, right? Not many guys get that same sort of vibe from getting their college recruiting offer where they ended up going to play and then getting the same thing from the NBA. And you mentioned your relationship with the Cavs. That second workout is big. How do you feel right now going into summer league? Do you feel good? You've got guys on that roster that you've played against before, guys like Tyrese Proctor. When Auburn played against Duke, you've probably seen the Amoni Bates highlights from high school, I'm sure.
Yeah,
How do you feel going into summer league with an organization like the Cavs?
I'm ready. I'm just, trying to walk in there with a chip on my shoulder and make sure I don't take this opportunity for granted. Go in there and utilize all my tools, ask all the questions, don't be ashamed because I got a question about certain things. Just making sure I'm taking full advantage of the opportunity because everybody can't say they played for a summer league roster. And I got a chance, to get a spot on the roster. So why not, go out there and get my all like I've been doing. It don't work so far. So, why stop now?
Yeah, and the deal itself, I feel like not a lot of people understand maybe what that Exhibit 10 contract is. And am I correct in thinking that it's a non-guaranteed 1 year two-way contract? Is that essentially what this
Yeah,
Exhibit 10
pretty
is?
much. So what I was thinking was I thought it was just summer league, but like summer league isn't a part of it. So it's I'm promised summer league and then I'm promised training camp after.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like 1 year, not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay, and I'm curious too on draft night. That group text had to be going crazy, right? I mean,
yeah,
Miles, Janai, Dylan,
yeah,
Denver. I'm sure Coach Pearl's probably hitting you on all those.
yeah,
Was there chats going on when you saw Janai, your teammate, come off the
yeah.
board? What was the energy like in the text group chat on draft
Man,
night?
it was a lot of excitement, especially in the player group chat. Seeing Janai get drafted at 35. To a good situation. Everybody was happy for him. Everybody was proud of him. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was Dylan, then it was Miles. You know what I'm saying? So we congratulating them because like we seen their work. We seen Janai work, and them finally being able to receive the fruits of their labor. Like it's happy to see, the guys you went to war with, finally their hard work finally pay off, so they can be able to take care of their families.
Yeah, 100%. And I know too, now you have four guys that you're looking forward to going up against in summer league, right? You got a bunch of
Yeah,
Auburn dudes
yeah.
playing in Las Vegas in just a couple of weeks. Is there a team or maybe a guy that you're most excited to go up against in summer league? Is it one of those dudes?
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really too excited to go up against them guys, 'cause, they know my skill set, they know my moves,
Bound to
so
be weird.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be different. It's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure, like they all say, like once you get across them lines, like it's no friends. It's no more Auburn brotherhood. It's my team versus your team. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna have that same mentality, just like me. And it's gonna be some battles. We're gonna have some fun out there.
And I know on the court now you can't be those Auburn brothers, but off the court, the Auburn family's still with all of you. Tell me about the encore of support, of congratulations that you felt after you signed that deal with the Cavaliers from the Auburn family.
I mean, you could just go on the post alone to see how many of the fans. It was one fan, that was like, it was like Chaney Johnson. Like, who is this? Like, it's like Auburn fans. Please tell me we got a good pickup. And it's just comment after comment. The Auburn fans. Being like, hey, this is a hard work. They just vouching for me. So, I'm forever gonna be an Auburn Tiger, and these fans gonna, forever be big fans of me. So I'm grateful that I was able to, come to Auburn, make such an impact that the fans gonna love me forever.
That impact certainly lasts. And I know the timeline of this NBA draft, this process, as they call it. Everybody calls it the NBA draft process, but I feel
Hmm.
like for the most part, it's pretty under wraps. It's undercover what happens from when the Final Four happens in San Antonio in mid-April to now late June. Tell me about
Hmm.
that process because it is one that is, I mean, everybody does it their own way. Everybody's in a different spot working out for different teams. Walk me
Hmm.
through what the draft process actually looked like, sort of day to day, for you, because it's something that I think people are curious of.
So the thing is, after we got back from San Antonio, I was gonna take 2 weeks off. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking I didn't know nothing about the process. I remember on the bus to Kentucky and Miles and JP was making fun of me because I'm like, yeah, I'm just going with the flow. I'm not. I ain't playing no workouts. I'm gonna take 2 weeks off when the season ends. But like, I didn't know like, especially being a senior, like that draft process, it literally starts as soon as the season's over with. So when I ended up finding that out, I ended up having a little talk with BP. Really was trying to get another year, trying to
Mhm.
test those waters out because I didn't want to leave nothing left on the table. If I was able to get another year, I was gonna have something to pray for. Like, Lord, should I go this way? Come back to Auburn? Should I just um try to get in the draft and work out with team? So when I found out that like it was more so like pretty much I wasn't gonna be able to get another year, then I just got in the full gear working out, same thing, working out 3 to 4 times a day, 6 days a week, have my Sunday as my off day, my Sabbath day, but just working on my weaknesses, working on all aspects of my game. I did go to Temple with Dylan Cartwell and his agency. I stayed there for 2 weeks. Worked out with them. Worked out with Coach Rob Allen. That was on the staff,
Shout
but
out
now
Coach
he's
Rob.
yeah. Shout out Coach Rob. Always good work. NBA trainer. You know what I'm saying, and got to get in some workouts with Dylan. Caleb Grill that went to Missouri. A lot of guys that we pushed each other every single day. Got some good 5-on-5 work in as well. So was in Tampa for 2 weeks, and then came back to Huntsville and been here pretty much ever since then. Um, I say 2 weeks after I got from Tampa, Kel, my agent, ended up telling me about the Cavalier workout. So ended up going to Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? Got there at like 5, was able to chill, go get something to eat. Worked out that next morning and went real good. Crazy thing is I ended up flying back to Beham. I got back to Beham at like probably like almost 11 o'clock. Almost 11 o'clock, and then I get a call from my agent, like, yo, the Wizards want you to come to work out for them tomorrow. So it's 11 o'clock. And my
Tomorrow.
flight, yeah, and my flight was at 6 a.m. the next morning. And I stay like 40 some minutes away from the airport. So I get back to the crib. It's probably like 12, I already took a shower at the Cal facility, so I ain't got to take no shower, so I just went straight to sleep. Woke up like 4:30, had to be right back at the airport. Caught my flight at 6, flew into Washington, landed in Washington about 9. Worked out for the Wizards. I worked out with Miles Kelly too, who's on the same team. Which why would you put us on the same team? We ended up doing real good in that workout, both of us.
Right.
And after that, I did have workouts for probably like a week and a half, and then I think it was this past week I worked out, or the week before the draft. So I worked out 4 days in a row. I went Boston, I went Cavs, I went Bucks, and then I went Rockets in four
Wow.
days. And the thing is, though, that they don't be telling you is like sometimes you not getting into these cities to like 9, 10 o'clock. So one, the time changing, then you not getting to the cities until late, and then you got to be back up and on the way to the facility at like 8 o'clock. So like,
Right.
bro, when I tell you, like, I started feeling it a little bit. I started getting tired. I wasn't getting the rest I wanted, but it was all worth it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So that was my little process.
It's craziness. And you would
Yeah.
think, right, that maybe it would be organized. Like I'm going to the Cavs this week, I'm
Yeah.
going to the Wizards 4 days after that. But it seems more, I guess, sporadic. Like agent
Yeah.
calls and you go. Is that true?
Yeah. So I feel like for my case, even though I played on the Final Four team, even though I was a good contributor to the Final Four team, I wasn't really highly touted. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
kind of been an underdog my entire life, so I wasn't expecting OG because I was on the Final Four. Like I'm finna get call after call after call. I was more so like I might get 1 or 2 workouts. If I'm lucky. If not, I might have to maybe get picked up on the summer league or maybe go G League first, you know what I'm saying? But God blessed me with the ability to be in front of the right eyes. But I'm pretty sure like Miles or like, Janai or like Dylan, pretty much a lot of guys on the team was a little bit more organized than me. I feel like me also, since I waited a little bit longer to like, for sure um start working out for teams. That probably what did as well. Cause, when I was in Tampa, Dylan was already working out for teams. And in that moment I was still like trying to see if I wanted to pursue the extra year. So that's probably also what did it. I probably could have got a couple more workouts in, but I'm happy that I worked out with the teams I worked out with. All of them went real well.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players are on different paces. Like I was
Yeah.
texting with Denver, and a lot of his stuff felt sort of similar. Like it was
Yeah.
call, and the next morning he had to go to
Yeah.
Charlotte, and then from
Yeah.
Charlotte to here or there. And
Yeah.
that process can be so intense, so up in the air. Do
Yeah,
you think it's a little bit of a precursor of what the NBA sort of lifestyle is, right? I mean, there's an 82 game season. You're going
yeah,
home series maybe this weekend, but Monday you're playing Orlando, Tuesday you're playing Miami. Do you
yeah.
think it's a little precursor to what the NBA lifestyle is, or is it just this is what the
Kind of,
draft
sort of.
process is?
Kind of, sort of. I feel like in the league, you're not having to, your flight's not getting delayed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My flight done got delayed, like, cause I ain't never really flew commercial like that for real. Cause like,
Uh-huh.
either I flew with Auburn or like, I mean, I probably
Right.
drove. Like, I wasn't traveling across the country, but
Yeah.
bro, I'm telling you, it feel like my flight got delayed every airport I went to, bro. Like, I was so annoyed, man. But I was just like, I had to remind myself, like, just be happy that you're traveling to these teams. Like,
Right.
don't get annoyed, don't get mad. So, yeah, bro, my flight get delayed. I feel like in the league, I don't think they too much fly commercial. I feel like it's all PJ or personal
Yeah.
plane. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably a
Not
little
as
bit
many
better,
delays, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably not as
Thank
many
God.
players, but it's probably more so like, I mean, the back and forth is probably similar, but like, you know, I mean, you're in the NBA, so you don't have to pay for like certain recovery. You know what I'm saying? You getting fed. As you getting fed. Like when I was getting to some of these cities, like so my plane landed at like 9 or 9:30, even at 10. Like pretty much the airport was closed. Like all the food spots. So like, it was
Yep.
one night while I was in Milwaukee where I didn't even eat because I was just like, you know what, I just need to get sleep, bro. Like
Yeah.
I ate
Get
enough
your rest
today.
while you can.
Yeah, let me get my rest while I can, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I just eat breakfast.
Yeah. And sometimes, right, it's the only choice you got. You need to get some
Nah,
sleep. You know you need some sleep. Do what your body wants you to do, right?
nah, facts.
Coming up summer league, obviously in Las Vegas. So you're home in Alabama now. Tell me about sort of the timeline between now and when summer league starts when you guys open up against the Pacers on the 10th.
See, funny thing is, I didn't even know who was playing the Pacers. I didn't know who was
See, look
playing.
at
So
that. This
appreciate
NBA
you.
lifestyle is something to adjust to, I guess, right?
But yeah, man. So I'm heading to Cleveland Wednesday afternoon. Um Getting there, do the physicals and stuff like that. They giving us July 4th off. But after that, I mean, working out. I mean, from the 5th all the way leading up to the 9th. And I think we flying out to Las Vegas on the 9th. So, I mean, it's coming. Like it's here. Like ain't no more. Like you can't waste time. None of that. Like it's here. So, that's pretty much the timeline leading up to the
Yeah,
summer league.
now it's getting real, right?
It's
You're
been
a member
real,
of the
but
it,
it's
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 extra
getting
real
real,
now.
real. Yeah, for real.
When you went up to Cleveland, what'd you think? Like, were the people there how you expected it to be? What did you think of the facilities in Cleveland? I guess what are you most excited about? What'd you like?
I'm excited. I'm just excited about the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the facilities like I've been to. I was like I said, Cleveland, Washington, Milwaukee, Boston, Houston. So the facilities, they're not the same. They're different in their own ways. But like,
Hmm.
I mean, it's an NBA level facility. So like, I mean, you got everything you need in there. You got all the tools. You got the best trainers. You know what I'm saying? You got cold tub, hot tub. You know what I'm saying? You got cryo. My favorite thing that I'm happy about is the chefs. Like food, they cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you. So like.
All right
You
now.
really don't have to spend no money. Like I learned from Dylan Carwell, like free breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Like go take full advantage. Like they got the black trays with the plastic clear cover on it. So I'm not spending no money. Like that's my plan for food. I'm just even if they have like some squash and stuff in there, like I'm just gonna have to force myself to eat. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, the
that's
vegetables will have to go.
yeah, yeah. I don't squash especially. But I mean if that's the only thing they got in there, I'm just gonna have to eat it. But at the end of the day,
They
I ain't
have
spending no
things
money.
just full of squash. I think that might require a new chef. Just a little bit. Like if it's
Yeah.
just squash, we're in
Yeah.
trouble, right? Whether you like it or not. I
Facts.
don't know that that's
Facts.
a great sign either way.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
So you're excited for the chef, excited for the meals.
That's
That's good stuff.
yeah,
Free breakfast
near
all over
term.
the board, right?
Yeah, yes,
Well, that's
sir.
awesome. And I know the Auburn faithful will be behind you and they'll be excited to see you play in Cleveland. And I guess there is one downside right now of Auburn and Cleveland, and it's that Isaac Okoro just
Yes,
left the
yes,
team,
sir.
right? Right as you get
Yeah,
there, Isaiah Okoro gets traded.
yeah. I still got Tuma though. I still got Tuma.
True. You still have Truman. That's very true.
Yeah.
Was that a guy that you were hoping when you got to Cleveland that maybe you would be able to see? Or
Yeah, so actually, my second workout, I was able to sit with him a little bit and eat breakfast with him, just chop it up. You know what I'm saying? He was just asking me about my workouts, how my workouts going, and stuff like that. So I never really, I think I talked to Tuma more than I talked to Isaac, because Isaac was he was gone a lot more than Tuma. Tuma actually came and played pickup with us last summer, so I was able to talk to him a little bit more. So, I would love to learn from Isaac. He's a great defender. He got bounced out of his world. So I would
yeah.
love to learn from him as well. But I mean, since he got traded, I'm gonna have to, just learn from Truman like I was gonna do anyway.
With the Cavaliers, obviously a team that's on the up and ups, right? One of the best teams
Mhm.
out of the Eastern Conference this year. And I know the playoffs didn't go the way maybe the Cavs had hoped it would, but lost
Mhm.
to a team that eventually made it to the NBA Finals, right? So joining a winning team. A lot of these draft picks, especially the early first rounders, and some of those teams were like the Nets that have 8 draft
They
picks or
just
whatever.
got bro the Nets and like they just got like it was literally the Nets draft. Like it just seemed
It
like it was
was.
the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn, I'm
Yeah.
like they got everybody. Like
Yeah, they had every draft pick I think possible that one team could have. But a
oh,
lot of
for real.
those guys are going to teams that are figuring out winning still. For
Yeah.
you, a guy who has won a lot in college, especially in the last year, to join a culture that is growing on the winnings of this season, how does that feel? Does it fit the energy that you hope to bring?
Yeah. That's one thing I could say like that I bring. And one question to ask me is like, what NBA level talent do I think I have? And I told him time and time again, energy. I feel like I just bring energy, a winning mentality and just a hard working mentality, that I feel like is on par to a lot of NBA, NBA talent and NBA players. So that was one thing, and yeah, I mean they're winners, and I'm happy to be a part of an organization that wins. I would love to be that put this straight. I would love to be a part of any organization. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's an opportunity,
Yeah.
and I'm blessed that God put me in the position to win off rip and learn from winners. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
I think the starting place is super parallel to how your career has formed to this point, right? You look at a
Hmm.
roster like the Cavaliers, even a G League roster that the Cavs have built up. It's a lot of guys who have built their game as they've gone, right? They weren't stars from day one, but they worked up to that point. And that's something I saw within your game at Auburn, coming from UAH to Auburn. You changed your body, you changed your patience, you changed your pace of play. What on the basketball court do you think you will be able to bring most to this Cavs team over summer league?
Um, I'll just be able to bring Chaney. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I said bringing great energy. I mean, I'm a hard worker. And I just want to improve on every asset of my game. Like I feel like, these days that I had leading up to summer league, like I done transformed my game a lot. Not necessarily meaning like, oh, I done went from floaters to now I'm going 20 behind the back dunks, you know what I'm saying? Not nothing crazy like that, but
Right.
I done really improved on my handle, really done improved on my shot. Been watching basketball, like a lot of film, on players I want to mimic my game after. So I feel like I'm a lot smarter player now. I've been playing a lot of pickup as well. So I just feel like, I just improve a lot of assets of my game. So the Cavs, they're gonna get Chaney Johnson.
Couldn't ask for any better than that,
Yeah.
right? Getting you in full effect, right? So
Mm.
summer league with the Cavaliers, you're obviously looking forward to it, thankful for the opportunity. Right now,
Mm.
we're going to go into sort of a fun game. We'll get away from the summer league talk, the basketball talk. We're going to go through a one quick segment first, and then we'll get into some questions at the end. This segment is called Top of the Key, and this is where takes get ranked and imagination gets to run the point. Today, we're going to build your ideal hooper using your Auburn teammates from last season. I'll give you a
Okay.
skill or an attribute and you tell me which teammate you'd assign it to. And there's only one rule, and it's that you can only use yourself once. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
bet. I probably wasn't gonna use myself anyway, but I mean
Okay.
that make it easier. Let's do it.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's create a player. Let's do it. First attribute I'm going to give you is shooting. Which of your Auburn teammates' shooting abilities would you assign to this creative player?
Miles Kelly, of course. What type? I don't even have to think about it. Yeah, Miles Kelly.
Yeah, he doesn't miss a lot. That's a good answer. How about defense?
Denver Jones.
Okay, so you're
Easy.
you're on ball, lockdown. Give me any guard, any swing, I'll lock him down.
Yeah, Denver Jones.
All right. Dunk package. Who we thinking?
Jakai Howard. What?
See, but you did win the dunk contest tip off at Tumors.
He missed. He missed like two. He missed a dunk. You know what I'm saying? So
You were
I got
just
lucky.
1 for 1 on every dunk.
Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, that's what happened.
All right, how about clutch Gene?
Chad Baker Mazar.
Okay, I like that. CBM. Um, trash talk.
Dang. Dang. Trash talk. Is there any way I could reverse?
Yeah, talk to me. Who do you think? Oh, you can
Okay.
pick another guy for multiple. You just can't pick yourself for
Okay,
multiple.
okay, baby. So instead of going Chad Baker for clutch, I'm going Chad Baker for trash talk.
Okay,
And
okay,
then I'm going Todd Pettiford for clutching.
okay. I like that. What about layup package?
Their package. Who am I gonna go? Their package. I'm probably gonna go Tahad for the layup. He ambidextrous.
Yeah, he had a couple in the NCAA tournament. Well, maybe a wrap around off the glass where
Yeah,
you said,
yeah,
okay.
nasty, nasty.
Ugh.
Yeah,
How about handles?
handles. I might have to go Tahad again.
Okay,
I
all
think
right.
that's Tahad again.
All right, and trash talk I think was a funny answer. What's an example of some fun trash talk, either from Chad or Tahad? I know you mentioned both of those guys that you
Yeah.
remember that makes you laugh.
I mean, it
I'm
wasn't
sure
really.
there's one. Those guys are hilarious.
I gotta make sure it's
Yeah,
PG. You know what I'm
keep it
saying?
G, keep it G.
But I'll just say really just Chad antics. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like hit a three, he'll turn around for the three go in, you know what I'm saying? Like hit a
Yep.
three, look at the coach on the other team. Like it just really his antics. Like it just so amusing playing with a guy like that. Like he just plays with so great energy, man. It's
Yeah, and fans love it. The energy's in the building when he does stuff like
yeah,
that. You really
yeah.
can't beat it. All right, how about leadership?
Leadership, Dylan Cardwell.
Love
We're
that
we're
answer. The
not
cap.
we're not making it past Creighton without the speech he gave us after we beat ASU. So
It was definitely a turning point. You could tell there was like a switch that
switch.
flipped
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that, and all the questions were the we need to get back to the Auburn we were. And after
yeah,
that point, you could tell there was some leadership that certainly took point in that one. So
yeah.
it's good to know. It was Dylan. Love that. All right, how about in-game drip on the court? Who had the best? Who used their VC the smartest? Right, like who had the
In
drip
game,
on the floor? Yeah,
I'm
in
I'm
game.
gonna have to give it to Janai. The one leg sleeve, and then he'll switch up either the half sleeves or he'll go arm sleeve or he'll go like the little Kobe band. You know what I'm saying? The little bicep band. So I give it to Janai. And he rocked the headband.
Mm-hmm.
I give it to JB.
The in-game drip now, I think works even better that it's in
Yeah.
Philly, right? AI had it. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
fit awfully nice up
Yeah.
there in Philadelphia. All right, last one, comedic relief. Which team? Because there's so many moments in basketball, whether you're in the huddle, whether you're on the
Mm.
floor, or some heated moment, a bad timeout. Who's the guy that gave some funny? Who gave some fun? Who made guys laugh in some of the tense moments?
Um. See, I mean, our whole team was funny, man. Like I could go.
That's why I ask because I feel like it
I
could be
can't.
anyone.
I can't give it. I don't think I can put it on one person. I mean, our entire team was funny. Like I mean, I could go Simo. I go Turtle. I go JP. I go Janai. I could go Chad,
Yep.
Miles. Like everybody was funny in their own way. So that's the only one I can't put it. I can't put it on one person because the entire team was funny.
Yeah, I figured that might be your answer just because there was so many clowns on your team that made me
Yeah.
laugh constantly. So that's a great answer. I love that. All right, so
I
we
I
we
really wish that like I could have cause Dylan, I think he had like a camcorder. He recorded all the season not last year, but the year before last year.
Yeah.
He reportedly like all the away games, all the important moments. So I wish I would have did the same thing because like if I would have came out with a documentary of this year, I probably would have went to jail. But it'd been like it'd be real funny. It'll probably if I look like release the footage in like a movie, like
Yeah.
I see like we'll like gross probably like what I'm saying like I'm going at least 20 million, probably more than
20
that.
mil. Okay.
There's gonna be
So,
a lot of people watching that. It's gonna be funny.
so this is an award winning. This is a bestseller. I mean, this is
Yeah,
what we're talking
yeah.
about here.
Movie of the year
Okay.
for sure.
Movie of the year. Netflix comes calling, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden we got 2025 Auburn basketball on the
fact,
opening screen of Netflix. I love to hear that.
facts,
We need to ask
fact.
Dylan maybe to release the tapes and see what
No,
you're talking about here. We got to
no,
put something
y'all
together.
don't. We don't need that.
I think we do. I think we do. The Auburn faithful needs it, if anything.
Mm,
Heading into our next segment here, we talk a lot about what athletes know, right? We know the plays, we know the grind, we know the mindset that you take into the game, but this is where we flip that. This segment we're going to call What's Got You Wondering, where I ask professionals, athletes, to get real about what they're still figuring out. Because as we know, it's been a whirlwind of last couple of days for you. And I want to take kind of a moment to explore your curiosities, not just your certainties, right? Because you're not just
mm,
a pro at the end of the day, you're a person. You're somebody
yeah.
who's going into something completely new, just like a lot of us are watching this video right now. So I can give you some starter questions so we can start thinking. But if you're curious of anything as you enter this next era with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you want to start with that, I'm more than happy to. But I can throw out some if that'll get your thoughts going.
No, I got some thoughts right now. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
talk
not
to
even
me.
thinking about Cleveland. I'm thinking about some things. This is gonna be a big one. Is the Earth round or is it flat?
I think that's a very simple answer.
What is it?
Round. Don't tell
I
me you're
don't.
a
I don't.
flat
I can't
earther.
agree. I can't agree. I'm not. No. No. Don't label me as a flat earther. But
Okay,
I
I
don't.
won't.
I
I'll
can't.
hear you out. Talk to me.
I just question everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know. I can't say that it's flat or round. I don't know.
So
They faked
so
the moon
when we
landing.
go to space and we see a circle, you just think it. What do we think? Like, is it
What makes you believe that that's what space look like? I know you see all these movies. I know you seen. Oh, what's that movie called? Where they go to space and they get stuck. It's a movie out there. I'm pretty sure the fans will know what I'm talking about, where they get stuck in space. But like all these movies coming out and like they make space look real. So how you know that when it's really space, that's what space really look like? You know what I'm
like?
saying?
How do
Like
you know you're in space?
no. How do you know when they're in space that's really space and it's just not CGI and just effects?
See now you're really trying to boggle
Once
my
again,
mind here, Shady.
but
Golly.
I ain't
All
trying to
right,
get
so you're
canceled though.
curious
So
about whether the Earth is flat or round, and
yeah,
if they're in space, if they're telling the truth.
yeah, facts.
Interesting. Okay, one I know that I'm curious of is if there's just aliens out there. Like, is there
That's the
more
one too.
people than the people on Earth? That's one I think about.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think about
that's
quite a lot.
yeah,
What other
that's good.
curiosities you're thinking? Maybe we can transition from space and maybe potential planets and stars, and is our
Mm,
Earth round or flat? And just talk about like what you're curious about at this next level, right? Like, uh,
mm.
is there part of the NBA experience that you're most curious to experience for yourself? Like, have you Googled anything about your new hometown? Like, sort of what are you thinking?
Uh, honestly, like I don't have any questions. Like I'm just ready to go out there and just perform. I really try not to think too hard on certain things, and I mean, yeah, I can look up like the food spots in Ohio or Cleveland, and what's some things to do fun. But like, I mean, like I said, one, I'm not spending no money on food. I'm eating straight cafeteria chefs, in the training facility, and my fun is just, chilling, watching movies, reading my Bible, watching YouTube videos, watching podcasts. So I don't really have any questions, you know what I'm saying? I mean, one I could have is just like, how long it would take me to develop to be the player that, I want to be. Like, I wish I could know, like, okay, Like Chaney is gonna take you, 6 years until you're completely comfortable in the league, or it's gonna take you 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably more so a line of the question I may have. But I mean, other than that, like, man, I'm just ready to get there, ready to get to work. I'm just grateful for this opportunity. I know I said that plenty of times, but like I
Mhm.
can't overstate it enough. Like how happy, that I am with, the life that God allowed me to live and blessed me to live, and the people that I'm able to touch. I always pray like I'm undeserving. Like, what did I do to deserve, to be able to play in the summer league and to play for a good organization like Auburn, and to be getting interviewed right now, like, this thing kids dream of, and just to be a good steward of everything that I have is, really my only question. Like, just to make sure like I'm, taking full opportunity and advantage of, everything that's laid in front of me.
Yeah, and that was honestly, that was one of the questions I had written down to ask you. Like, as a guy who's entering that space, what do you wonder about becoming an NBA player? How long will it take for you develop maybe into a star? Like, how much of a stardom will you get? I feel like there's so many
Yeah.
questions like that, and I know for you, someone who's very, very rooted in faith, and as many of our viewers uh, can be parallel with you on that.
Mm,
How is your faith in the last week, week and a half, and weeks to come? How strong of a piece will that play for you? And in your mind, I know it's the rock of everything that Chaney is, and
mm,
as Chaney becomes more in the limelight, maybe is the way to say it, by joining the summer league and
yeah.
competing at the highest level of basketball. How do you manage those emotions, and how do you,
Yeah.
I guess, lean into your faith?
At the end of the day, we worship a God that walked this earth, and loved everyone equally, but suffered worse than anyone. You know what I'm saying? So, the down, the lows, negative things are gonna happen, and I mean, I say it's a better feeling going through down times, knowing that, God is right there with you, and he won't let you get too low to where, you're on the brink of doing bad things. You know what I'm saying? He's just always gonna be there with you. So, that's more so what I can say is just always having God with you through the highs and through the lows, because he's never gonna forsake you. And just make sure I'm just, giving expressing gratitude to him, and, praising him, every moment, because like, I mean, he deserves praise, every second that we breathe. Like, he deserves the praise because he done kept us out of so many things. Like, without God, so many things could have went wrong, in our lives, through other people's lives, you know what I'm saying? So he's just been there, helping people, even the people that, don't really worship him and don't really love him like they should. Like, he's still there for them and waiting on them, to open the door, while he's knocking. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's, my faith's gonna play a big role. I'm gonna be that guy that's, gonna be, trying to have Bible studies with the team. Always trying to find ways to bring God in the conversations, because this is bigger than basketball. And me and Dylan had a talk like for like an hour a couple days ago, just talking about like, hey, we here, but like this is bigger than basketball. Like, guys, he's boosting our platform, so let's not take this for granted. Let's, do what we said we're gonna do, and, spread the gospel throughout all nations, you know what I'm saying? So that's really the biggest thing. Like, I mean, I'm not defined by my performance. I'm not defined by my popularity, my fame. I'm defined by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. People could say I'm trash, they could say they could have got a better player, but at the end of the day, like, I'm living out my dream that God allowed me to live. So, I'm just here to spread the word, and have fun playing basketball while I'm doing it.
Thank you for that. And I know one thing I always appreciated that you would say in your interviews. I guess it would come back to a very simple saying, right? God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And you
Yeah,
feel that when you speak not only about the game but about your teammates, about
yeah,
yourself, about your journey. And I
mhm,
know God is even great at NBA games because they have times and places where you're allowed to share your faith with a pastor before games. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Like I done said, man, I'm looking for everything.
Yeah,
I'm just happy for this
you're
opportunity.
juiced.
I'm gonna bask in, every single thing, that when it comes to basketball, like I'm taking advantage, 24-hour stretching. Like, yo, like after I got done working out, yo, can I get stretched? Can I get treatment? Like, now I'm finna be on my LeBron James, How he come up there, 8 hours before he play, he icing, you know what I'm saying? He stretching, doing core work, like, cause I do want to play basketball for as long as God allow me. So I'm gonna make sure I'm taking, full advantage of everything and taking full care of my body so I can play as long as I can without injuries.
And I'll tell you what, Chaney, I know I'm looking forward to seeing where this NBA journey and where your basketball journey and where God takes it over the next decade, 2 decades. But I'm so
Yeah,
excited to see what's to come for you, and I know the Auburn family is as well. So thank you so much for joining Invincible today. It was an honor to be
yeah,
able to be a part in telling your story and having some fun at the end, building players,
yeah,
talking about just what we're curious about as
yeah,
individuals. So I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck in Summer League. I'm excited to talk to you
yeah.
here soon.
So appreciate you for having me, my guy.
Absolutely. And if you would like to see more, make sure to subscribe, like, follow. All the links will be down in the description, and we'll put Chaney stuff there as well, so you can follow him and stay tuned in with his journey through the NBA. We will see you guys next time.